All right, a little bit of a late one as far as the market updates go, but it is what is it, 12:30 UTC roundabouts. Anyways, wanted to give a quick little update on Bitcoin. We are still sending, and as expected, just a couple things to kind of note. We're seeing long step in pretty aggressively. We're still at almost 60% short to long, so there's still dominance from the retail side trying to short the structure back down. We're at some key levels, which we'll go through as far as if we break this, there's a very likely chance we actually have a continuation move. But we're at the point it's either we fail here right now or we go to 100K and pass potentially. Since earlier this morning, we've seen some more aggressive long stepping in. We had a little bit of a higher low structure, which we'll go through, but in general, still looking good. We're just seeing right now a lot of people smashing the green button trying to get us to 100K. So we'll see if that plays out by any means. Looking at the funding rates are still decent, still positive, but they're nowhere near where they were just a few days ago. We're like 0.03, or open interest weighted was at like 0.06. So this is a lot better. Just general, funding rate heat map, looking at what all the other tickers are doing. There's a lot of negative fund or positive funding. There's a lot more, I would say, for like Ethereum as an example, and some of these altcoins specifically. But for Bitcoin in general, based on the open interest, it's relatively low in all reality. So keep an eye on that. That's good. Looking at the liquidations as well, we're starting to see that move up. I think we're right at that point. Let me just reload it real quick. Yeah, so we've got that little chunk right above us that's building here now. So if we do have a localized swing failure, I'd want to see us come back down to 96.5. Realistically, until we start breaking this local structure, we should still hold above 96. If we start losing this, then we probably have a forced breakdown back into the low 90s, which will break this parabolic move, which is what it is. We are in a parabolic upside move. We are still looking for higher just because the price action is going that direction. But we're at the point where if we fail right here, that would be the break that pushes us back down, especially given those big market inefficiencies from about 94, 95K up to about 96.7 or so. So almost a 3K market inefficiency or a fair value gap below us if we see some failures here at this higher low that we did earlier this morning. So looking over at the TA itself, so from yesterday, obviously really great structure across the board. We talked about that continuation move. This is what we talked about in green. It's like we're going to gain, we're going to go, we're going to gain. We actually did a little bit of a higher low gain at the daily open, and we went straight up to the levels we were talking about, same exactly where we were expecting based off liquidity and liquidations. That's all fine and dandy. We're poking above a little bit here. I would say that if we have a bit of a failure, kind of more in that style, just kind of failing this local swing at 96.9. There's a good little retracement move back to the daily open. But understand the price here is fully parabolic. That means that we are exponentially going up, and we're these gaps, effectively these fair value gaps, which is right here. This is kind of ripe. If we do dump through it, we should nuke straight back to the daily open. So keep an eye on that. That's just a local one. It doesn't break the upside trend, but it does break the parabolic upside move. I would say that we're still good. We're solid. If the bigger breakdown starts to happen, if we start collapsing back below 92.3, realistically, yeah, it's 93.4. So put that right. There you go. 93.4K. So that's what I would expect to be the more interesting one if we have a continuation breakdown. If we do that, I'm expecting a full retest the weekly open. Until that happens, until we lose something, the priority is up. The direction is up. We are grabbing liquidity as people continue to shorten the upside drive. We talked about this all week. We talked about it last week. We're gaining levels. We're trending higher. This is the point where if we fail here, we start to form out some structure before we pop through 100K. And then my suggestion is, or my thought is, if we don't go to 100K just right now and we break down and actually hold levels, we'll actually probably blow past it, as you'll see a lot of aggressive shorting to try and hold the 100K zone. But that's usually how the price action works. We usually front run it on the first test and usually back run it on the second test when we actually break through the level for a retest. We're getting pretty overheated on low time frames. We've had really continuous upside drives. We are parabolically up on multiple time frames, and that's still the direction of travel. I would say the biggest thing here to watch the local failure, set an alert for it right here at 96.7K. I would say if we start failing that's the local failure that breaks you back towards the daily open. Right now, the markets are looking pretty decent across the board. You're seeing positive signs with not only the VIX and the US VIX, but also in TradFi trading higher than yesterday. There's a lot of panic going on with external conflict stuff. But I would say just, flipping the script, looking at it from like a price discovery side, we are in price discovery, uh, based off of some price projections using Fibonacci's. I would say that we either fail here and start farming out some structure, or we gain this and we blow past 100K. That'd be my expectation. So play the levels. Don't press, like I keep saying, don't press red until we fail something. The more interesting stuff to fail doesn't really start happening until we get back below previous range highs, start breaking back below daily open towards the weekly. So until any of that stuff happens, you're looking up until proven otherwise. Enjoy the run. ETH is also moving quite well. So ETH BTC is up on the day. Watch if we start getting rotation, if we start slowing down really aggressively and there's a capital rotation, watch ETH and alts and see how they perform. You always want Bitcoin to go first. There's still plenty of room to run, and I want it to continue to run before we have a full alt season, but bear that in mind. So that's that. Take it easy. Catch you tomorrow.